Hello, citizens of YouTube. This is the Geeky Nerd here, and today we're going to be talking about how suppressors work and why you should have them, or why you might want them. So before I get too deep in the weeds here, I'd like to send a big thank you out to everyone who has subscribed. I greatly appreciate you guys and always enjoy talking to you. If you're new here to the channel, welcome. If you like this video and like this type of content we have here, please consider liking, commenting, or subscribing, and I hope you thoroughly enjoy. So, with that out of the way, let's get into it. Suppressors. First thing, why they're important, why you should have them, or why you should want them. First, they're freaking cool. They're cool for a multitude of reasons. One, they seem to be unobtainium. If anyone, you go to your local range and you have a suppressor, everyone always leans out the booth and says, "What is that? Oh, what is that? Oh, what is that?" And you can always make friends with it because of the process that obviously goes into getting them. A lot of people just don't want to mess with it, and they'd rather just have their hearing protection. And just for the cool factor, they're nice to have have, because Hollywood has obviously made it sort of unobtainium and just super cool to have, to own, to use, and they're just awesome. They're just awesome for that fact. They're also awesome for what they do. As I touched on it earlier, wearing ear protection. With suppressor, yes, you don't have to wear hearing protection, which is nice to have. You can just shoot a gun naturally as you would, without having to have the earmuffs in and the ear plugs in, and be able to adjust your sight picture because your ear pro gets in the way, and the list goes on. So it's nice to have for that reason, that you can just be more comfortable shooting. Because for those of you guys that don't know, firing around will make you sleep with the bedroom fan on at night. There's a reason why people in the South always sleep with their fan on. No, I'm just joking. They're not a bunch of gun-toting people, but I'm sure it's a contributing factor. With that being said, why would you shoot a rifle, without hearing protection? One instance, of course, being that some states bar hunting with suppressors, but if you're fortunate enough to be in one, do it. But is that if you're hunting deer. So if you're hunting deer, you have to be able to hear the deer, hear the leaves, hear the woods, and it's also relaxing. You don't want to have to wear big old earmuffs or the in-ears, and it just kind of takes away from the whole whole hunting feel of it. And with that, usually by the time you are ready for your shot, you don't have time to make extra noise, put your earmuffs in, put whatever. So you just gotta kind of bite the bullet, per se, and just take that ringing in your ears for the next 24 to 48 hours, to make that trophy shot. And that's one awesome reason why suppressors are fantastic, is beyond saving your hearing, is that they can also make your hunting experience more pleasurable, and also less disturbance in the general environment. Now, also with that is being that the sound is deadened and it kind of disperses it. It also limits the possibility of finding where the sound signature came from. So if you hear, a crack of a gunshot, it came from over this direction. But with a suppressor, it makes it more like, oh, it probably came from this general vicinity, which is good, especially if you're hunting, because if you, let's say you miss your shot and the deer isn't spooked, he isn't going to know exactly where it is, although he unlikely will, but you guys know what I mean. So that's one reason. Another reason to have a suppressor also is they reduce the flash signature of your rifle. So if you're ever, shooting at dusk, or shooting at dawn, or shooting at night, or what have you, those you guys will see the giant big old fireball flash, especially on those 11.5 inch, 10.5 inch SBR ARs. You guys know who I'm talking about. That's the fire-breathing dragon out there. And it makes it uncomfortable for you as the shooter, and also makes it comfortable for everyone around you, just because of that concussive force and that flash, so it blinds you at nighttime. What suppressors will do is they will mask that greatly, not 100%, but close to it, and reduce those concussive forces, because it actually is contained inside of this can, and it allows it to slowly dissipate out. Same thing with the first round flash. Is that instead of it just coming directly at the muzzle and having unburnt powder, it allows it to, burn more slowly inside of this can, and then have a smaller visual signature. So it's kind of a short list of reasons why you would want a suppressor or why you might want to ever obtain one. The list goes on and on, guys. But if your state allows it and you have the funds and are able to, and just always thought they were cool, just stop watching the video, go out and buy one right now. Obviously, if you're watching this, 1 o'clock in the morning or late or whatever, wait till your gun shop opens. But regardless, on to the second subject as far as how they work. So how do you get all these benefits? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Think of a muffler on your car, and actually, Maxim, who was the inventor of the silencer, again, I call them suppressors just because it's easy for me to say, and I enjoy saying that better. Silencer is the technical patent definition patented by Maxim for these devices, and they actually found out about suppressors by trying to make mufflers for cars. And if you think about it, it's the same principle. Your engine is very loud, and you're trying to limit the amount of sound that is coming out of the rear of your car to make it less a nuisance for other people. Oh, one other fact, touch on it here, just thought of it on the fly, is that if you are in a wooded area, but you do have neighbors, like your closest neighbor is like a mile away or whatever, it does kind of get annoying if you just hear that crack, 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 just the sound of rounds going off, on your Sunday morning. So what this can do is it can limit that, so it makes it less of a nuisance for your neighbors or anyone in your immediate vicinity that you're shooting. So it makes it everyone can enjoy it as opposed to just you. So here, getting back to it, Maxim with their silencers. Silencer, suppressor, they're pretty much interchangeable. Some people say, you should say silencer because it's the patent, whatever. You're getting across the same point. I say suppressor because I feel that it suppresses the sound more than it silences. It's not Hollywood quiet. The simplest way I would describe how a suppressor sounds to anyone who is watching this, if you're just curious about how suppressors work, the sound, take two 2x4s in your hands, however long you want, and then slap them together as hard as you can. That is the sound of a suppressed shot. It is that loud. It feels weird to your ears because you still do get that supersonic crack unless you use subsonic ammunition. But for the vast majority of people, that's going to be essentially how it's going to sound. So definitely usable. Definitely not the best of the best of the best. If you want the best, use subsonic ammunition. But I'm getting off point here. Anyway, suppressors. How they work? Well, they have a series of baffles in them. So what will occur is as the round is leaving your barrel and is traveling through this tube, is going to travel through the center of these baffles. This is the first baffle here, and what actually will occur is it will go through here, and then if this provides a lot of volume for the hot gases that are leaving your barrel to escape. So as that bullet is getting pushed past this point, those gases are able to expand. And as soon as as this stacks up here, you can see how this part goes in here. So once it expands in here, then the gases are going to dissipate and hit this wall here and be force redirected into the second chamber. If you guys want to see a kind of a good principle of how this works, at least kind of one way I thought of it is look up a Tesla valve. Yes, that Tesla. And basically it's slowing the gas's movement in the direction that it's in. And because they're having to expand out and then get redirected in, it's slowing it's lessening the concussive forces, lessening the flash, and allowing the powder a longer time to burn before it is exposed to the world for all its glory to be. And every suppressor is a little bit different. Every suppressor has different decibel ratings. So you have monocore. This just happens to be a baffle system, but they all essentially work the same. And as it goes through all of these little baffles here, if I can line these up, if you guys don't see our full review on the suppressor and kind of other things about it, just check out here on the channel. But as it makes its way all the way up, it gets quieter and quieter and quieter and quieter until it finally does leave. And put that there, put that there. Everything's nice and sturdy. Make those. Get magic. Until everything is nice and dissipated, and then it will eventually leave out. Now, the final thing before it leaves, it has to do that same process again. It has to hit this baffle and then leave that barrel. But by that time, this has so much volume in it that it has captured a good 90% of those hot expanding gases, and either they have dissipated out or they're finally coming out of here, but they're coming out of a lot less higher velocities than as just having a bare barrel. So with that said, put this guy back on. With that said, being that the gases are traveling in, around, and behind the... sorry, guys. Always finish one thing before you go to the next, right? I don't want to have something go awry and pay for it later. But being that those gases are going in, about, around your bullet, you can get a point of aim, point of impact shift. And what does that mean? It basically means that the gases, as they're going through, are expanding around your bullet at different areas and are causing it to microscopically be pushed around in different directions. Because before, if you're just blowing out to the world, it's like, boom, there it is. It's, going in a 360 motion. With here, it's being kind of redirected so that bullet can kind of veer just a little tiny bit microscopically. Now, are you still going to be able to hit your target at 0? Yes. Are you going to be able to hit it, pick a flea off a dog's back at 100 yards? Probably not. So that's why when you get a suppressor, it's always good to have a scope reading without the suppressor and then with the suppressor. That way they're both point of aim, point of impacts. But yeah, guys, that was kind of just a quick impromptu kind of a rat race of a video. Just wanted to give you guys my thoughts, impressions on why you should get a suppressor and just generally how they work for people who weren't sure about it. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any kind of questions, comments, or anything like that, you leave them down in the comments, and I will questions, comments, or anything, leave them down in the comments. You guys know what I mean. And I'll respond to them as soon as I can. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, or subscribe, and I hope everyone's having a wonderful, awesome, fantastic day. I'll catch you guys next time. See you guys.